also wrote The Lessons of History, very brief, 100-page book, in which he said, well, history proves that, unfortunately and unhappily, Jesus Christ has no advantage over Genghis Khan. Because if you are strong enough, ruthless enough, powerful enough, evil will overcome good. Aggression will overcome moderation. So you have no choice. If you look at the world as it is today, you have to be blind not to see that the democracies led by the United States have to reassert their will to defend themselves and to oppose their enemies in time while there's still time, before the jarring gong of danger wakes them up and wakes them up too late. This is where we are now. The fact that people don't see that, the fact that a lot of the news media are harking on a lot of fake news, but also a lot of short-sightedness, and do not see the historic period and the historic struggle that we are engaged in now, doesn't obviate these truths.
You are critical of the government of Israel. Do you believe in Israel's right to exist? Would you consider yourself a Zionist in that narrow definition?
What does that mean, a right to exist?
The existence of the political state of Israel as
but
it
has
existed,
a right. What does that mean?
That you think it should continue in its existence as a state right now. So you do not agree with Iran, for example.
Well, let me just ask, since you asked me the question, it's fair for me to get you to define the term so I can answer it. You've asked two questions. The first was, do you believe Israel has a right to exist? And the second question was, do you believe Israel should continue to go on as a nation state? And those are very different questions. So I often hear the phrase...
Having been created as a political entity in 1948,
does it have a right to exist? Is that what you're asking?
I don't want to get hung up on the right. Should it continue to exist? That's how I define narrowly Zionism.
Because the phrase you used was devised by the Israeli government. Of course, does it have a right to exist? And so my question to you would be, what does that mean?
Why don't you answer my question? It's a very simple question.
I don't know what your question is. Are you asking, does it have a right to exist, or do I want it to exist? Do I seek its destruction?
Fine, answer it that way.
Well, of course I don't seek its destruction. I've already said, as you know, because I said it to you, I don't want Israel to be destroyed or have to use nuclear weapons.
We've established that you are in that narrow terms of Zionist. If that's how
I'm in no sense a Zionist. I don't want any country to be destroyed at all, and I don't want people to die, particularly ones who committed no crime, because I don't believe in killing innocents, period. That's the basis of Western civilization. Eastern civilization, it's a whole different view. They believe in collective punishment. I don't.
So you're in no sense a Zionist?
I don't even know what that means. Why don't you define the term, and then I'll tell you whether I am.
I've just defined it.
What's a Zionist?
That a Zionist, in my narrow term, this definition is that the state of Israel, the political state of Israel, has the right to continue existing.
The right? Where does that right come from? What do you mean? These are I'm not being a lawyer about it. I just want to know what you're asking me.
You answer the question.
Because I don't know what you're asking me.
Let's go to the
Wait,
third.
No. I think a lot. You don't want to define your question, and I don't know why. I don't know what you're asking me. I've already said I don't want Israel to be destroyed. I don't want anyone to be killed. And you've said, does Israel have a right to exist? Does it have my question is, what right are you talking about? Does Britain have a right to exist? Does the United States have a right to exist?
There was a world order built up after 1945 which suggested that aggression should not be condoned into countries. That countries with borders have the right to exist.
I totally agree with that.
Okay.
Which is why the first thing that Israel did within 2 weeks of this war starting, which is supposedly existential for them, was take southern Lebanon, take someone else's country, as they have done repeatedly. And no one even mentions that. And so I guess I would be opposed to that, because I guess I think Lebanon has a right to exist. I thought Gaza had a right to exist. But I noticed that as soon as we start apportioning rights, only one country gets them.
No, I did not say that. You're absolutely putting words into my mouth.
So because I believe, here's what I do believe, since you asked. I believe in universally applicable standards. And if they're not universally applicable, they're not standards, they're preferences. That's why I believe in human rights, not ethnic rights. I don't think Jews have more rights or less rights than anyone else. I don't think Christians have more rights or less rights. Blacks, Filipinos. I believe in human rights that derive from the creation of people by God.
Yo, so we back in here. Yeah, and I am digging in my nose, so anybody that don't like it, I don't give a fuck. I got allergies. The pills are stopping. The antihistamines are, you know what I'm saying? But still, shit still builds up in your nose, so what you gonna do? Tucker Carlson is media trained and politically correct. I'm gonna answer it for him. Should Israel exist? Yes, but possibly somewhere in Europe. And while Israel is technically part of Europe, loosely speaking, you know what? Let me just Google this shit. I mean, I know it's Middle Eastern, which is not even a thing. Okay, so I was wrong. It's not. There's nowhere. It's in the Middle East. Whatever. Actually, it's in between Egypt and Saudi Arabia. So yeah, it's not. It's the Middle East. But in any event, it should exist. Israel as a state should exist because the people that mostly derive, or most of the people there derive from European ancestry. I think they should go somewhere in Europe. They've been encroaching on the Palestinians' land for quite some time now. They've had many conflicts since 1949. Every year or every decade, the Gaza Strip gets slimmer and slimmer because, well, they want it. And this war is actually, I believe, and even from Trump's own admission in the last video that I played, where he says that they went along with helping Israel just because they asked them, right? It's like a knee-jerk reaction. I believe it's not about the oil. They want to expand their empire. And I feel like once they get Iran, Lebanon, and Syria, and all those other small Middle Eastern countries, I believe he'll try to take this or take it. And will expand by default, expand the Israeli empire. And so, yeah, no, I believe that, one, I don't believe that the United Nations should actually have allotted them Palestinians land. That right there in itself was fucked up. Fuck everything else after that. Fuck the conflict and them stealing more and more land as the decades have gone by. Let's just start right there. The fact that they took territory from motherfuckers that were already there. We're just gonna start right there. They were dead wrong. She says, should they exist? I'm with Tucker Carlson, except I'm not gonna mince words. Everybody has the right to exist in the world, right? I don't believe in killing innocents, but you can't exist while neglecting people's right, treating them with lack of empathy, treating them less than human beings. You gotta straighten that shit out. And because Israeli soldiers have showed lack of empathy, the Israeli government has showed lack of empathy for Jewish Ethiopians, just the brown populace of people within their country. Yeah, I believe they are a nuisance, and I believe that you got the right to exist, but I think they need to go back to the drawing board and find another territory that's more conducive to their government, their people. Because before 1947, she said 48. It was 1947. Before 1947, the people in Palestine, they seemed like they was doing A-okay. And then Israel was established, and they've been wreaking havoc with the Palestinians for the last 80 fucking years. So yeah, I think the whole back and forth, that shit, I'm like a father. Eventually the shit gotta stop. The back and forth, the bickering, the fighting. This nigga's a fucking warmonger that needs to be put on a leash. They believe he stole the election, but he said he ain't leaving. So yeah, right there, he's a fucking I can't really say it. Authoritarian dictator, and if he ain't out of here, I believe, bro, his reign has come short to like leprechauns, right? They need to get a new leader, because this dude is hell-bent on power and taking shit that don't belong to him. And this sounds kind of hypocritical, being part of a nation where our presidents actually do that shit on a daily. I call that shit out. That shit's wrong too. And as far as being a Zionist, bitch trying to put words in people's mouth and make them some shit. Look, it's funny how people want to apply titles to other people, but want to neglect titles for other people. Ain't that convenient? Just because I believe people got the right to fucking live and coexist in the world doesn't necessarily mean I'm a Zionist. It means I'm a person that's not a fucking warmongering savage. So yeah, he was playing mental gymnastics with the woman. Could just answer the damn question, but it is his show, so he was giving her a hard time. But yeah, he could have just gave her the straight up answer, which is yes, people deserve to live, with the exception of Bibi. He got to go. just in the short time that I've actually looked this dude up, he's a fucking scumbag. In any event, if y'all like this episode, you know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'm out.
No.